sort of. I don't know. Let's take a look at. I gotta go back to various things here. Watch now. Okay, I think I will. It looks like I'm streaming. Happily dappily. Wait a minute. That doesn't look very good. Let's fix that. There we go. There. Now I'm as handsome as ever. Look at this, beautiful. Anyway, how's everyone doing? How's the week going? How's life? Life's good, I guess. Son was sick today, so I had to stay home and look after him. Hey, it's the Cloudish. Hola, ¿cómo está? And now I feel bad because I completely forgot to read your stuff. I have it like here. I was cleaning out. I feel awful now. I was cleaning out my filing cabinet, so I made a big stack of stuff, and it got put on top until just now, and I was like, oh crap. Please don't hate me, the Cloudish. Forgive me. I'm just a man. Glad to hear that you are doing well, and that hopefully you aren't harboring any thoughts of revenge. Because today we are going to do a dramatic reading of A Dead Night. No, we won't do that. But I will read it soon, this week. That's the way I want my death. Quick and painless. Because the other options aren't very appealing. So, pinkies up. Today, oh, what's this? Sorry, I forgot to shut off my phone. Oh. It's my sister. She hatched some chickens for her school project, and people have been returning the chicks. So she's saying, hey, can we bring the chicks down to you? And I need to say, well, let me just respond to this because chickens' lives hold it bounds. Oh, wait, wrong. Bleep, bloop, bleep. Bring them all down. There. Replied. Brotherly duty done. I will look after chickens then. So, Cloudish, have you done any reading or writing this week at all? I kind of, sort of did. Not productive writing, but I did some writing. I wrote a script for the library. I dug up my index. Ooh, the green on it is all chroma keyed out. Oh, now that's done. Anyway, my index cards, which I will be working with today for my own during the writing sprint. Because I need to, well, we're talking about conflict today. So you fix punctuation. That is often a problem of mine. And spelling and grammar. English in general. So I'm glad that you got some stuff done. And I have to read that too. I can't even like, what? Did I take it out and put it on top there too? Man, I deserve a butt kicking. There we go. I found it. So, yes, I will be reading this. So I feel once you hit like 4 or 5 commas, you probably need to end the sentence. But that's just, because I figure, he walked to the window, comma, throwing open the curtains, comma, and looked out into the street where a man paced, comma, and then maybe you can get away with that, but most, I don't know. There are people who seem to be able to have run-on sentences, and they're masters. So I guess it's all in how you use them. Today, we shall be talking about conflict, something that I forget about all the time because apparently there's not enough of it going on in my stories. I'm so enthralled with, explosions, love story, cool devices, fight scene, whatever, that the conflict isn't really there. Or it's a big conflict, but all the other like sub-conflicts or long story short, I suck at this. So, yeah, I suppose I should get started with it so we can talk about it. First, a thought exercise for everyone. What is one thing that you have wanted but had a hard time getting? What made it hard to get? Let me just find something to write on that. I'm surrounded by paper, but for some reason, I'll just use a sticky note. Let's see. What the? Man, I have a lot of crap. This is why one of my never removed things on my to-do list is clean my desk. I got to get organized. What's the thing I really wanted but never got? Good question. I mean, there's lots of things like a career in film. But I kind of got it later, or at least had the opportunity to, and I ditched it. Fun story. Let's talk about. I wanted to be a filmmaker in high school and junior high, and then I went and studied film at U of A. First mistake. I think these days, anything you can learn at University for Film Studies, like to be a filmmaker, you can learn on YouTube. And I don't think anyone cares about a degree in film. So, and you kind of start at the bottom anyway. But you're working on it, and that's good. And I guess I'm still working on it too. You wanted to finish a book, never got because of lack of focus. I relate. I'm not sure what your lack of focus is, but I'm like a squirrel. Two issues. Squirrel, I keep changing, and I also I just hate everything I write. It's like, this is crap. A gaffer, well, that's in the electrical department. I started as a locations PA in Vancouver. I did 3 years of film, 2 in U of A, 1 at UBC. Spent money to watch movies and write essays on it. Didn't even get into the film production part, which could be useful just for meeting people and making connections. But looking back, I should have just taken that money and bought a camera and just started filming. But anyway, I started as a location PA on some shows in Vancouver. I even got a couple weeks in on Scary Movie, the original. Not long enough to actually get my name in the credits, though. Missed out on that. But I did get yelled at by one of the Wayans brothers. So there's that. Woohoo! Actually, I don't think he really yelled at me. He just thought I was a moron. So I write everything in my head when I'm not near my computer, and then I can't put it to pen later on. Yeah. Actually, there's like these really small notebooks at the dollar store, like a pack of 4 for a few bucks. I need to start carrying those around. Maybe you should as well. Just keep it in a pocket with a little pencil. And then every time something... Or voice recorder. Anyway, after Locations PA, I started the camera technician trainee course. And then I was a camera trainee on Heartland for just like a week and a half. And that sucked. Mostly because my vehicle, my only means of transportation, died. And it was where I was sleeping too. So basically I had no way to get to set. I had no one around to help, and I didn't know what I'd do. So I just called and said, you're gonna have to find someone else. I can't do this anymore, sorry. And I was having anxiety and panic attacks. because I was feeling very isolated. Because everyone else goes home to friends and family, and I work with people who don't really talk to me. And then I sleep in an RV. It was the Cloudish. It sucked. And I didn't even have power. I brought like a little mini TV in the RV with my Xbox, but because we're like camped in the middle of nowhere, and you're not supposed to technically stay on set, everyone's supposed to leave, so it's not like I could tap into their power. So it was just, and working on the set made me realize how hierarchical film is. Maybe it's different on independent film sets or when you're kind of higher up once you've reached, when you're communicating with all the other departments, but when you're just like at the bottom, people just, don't touch that. That's someone else's job. So you like, and so no one will help, you think, okay, so I don't have to do this, but that means no one is going to help you. If you're struggling to move stuff, like moving the video village 20 feet across the lawn, you'll have 50 people watch you do it, and none of them are going to like, ooh, let me help, because can't touch it. That's not my union. And you're going like, guys, this job could be so much more enjoyable if everyone just helped it, like wherever you could. Yes, it was a union job. And if you want to kill the human spirit, I can't think of a faster way of doing it than unionizing, because oh my goodness, it sucked. So, and then this is not about writing at all. I'm just talking now about one of my jobs as a camera trainee was to go and get lunch orders from the rest of the camera crew, which makes sense because the actual camera operators can't really leave their camera during the lunch break because it's not very long enough. They're sitting there basically. So I would go but there was someone on the team who was not locked down to their location. They could get up and go anywhere they wanted at any time. And she made sure, like, Neil, you need to take my order too. It's like, I can, but like, you could. The other people, there's a reason why I need to get their lunch orders. You, there's no reason. I mean, I'm older than her, and so there's probably like punk. Anyway. That sounds sucky too. I'm sorry that you had to do that. And I bet the labor probably felt really stupid too. Like, why am I mean, he's willing to do it, and he would have done it anyway. But we're not in a union. At least I'm not in a union. Are you in a union? I have no idea. All I know is I can ask for help, and people will help, and it's nice. Anyway, sorry. So that was something that I wanted that I had a difficulty getting, and when I got, it was like, I don't really want this anymore. I'm still interested in movies and filmmaking, but I think it'd either have to be independent, like very low budget, just a small crew, or writing, story, or being an actor. That would be kind of fun. Not sure I can pull off the actor. I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. Maybe I'm good looking enough for British television. If I could just work on my British accent, maybe I could get hired by the BBC to do something. That was when you worked in Australia. What detail do you do now? I don't really know you very well, only through other people. So I don't know what you were. I suppose I could creep you on Facebook and find out, but it just seems a little weird. I try not to stalk people online. So I take it you're not in a union anymore, and hopefully you're doing something nicer. And that if you make a mess, you can clean it up yourself because you are not a child. Because you're not. I'm assuming that you are over the age of 30. Oh, nice. I have 3 daughters and 1 son. So 17, 15, 13, and 11. No twins, though. Twins would be a weird kettle of fish. I kind of wanted it. Ugh. Well, if she makes some good moolah, then I guess, and she's okay with it, then hey, I would like to be a stay-at-home dad, or at least work on the farm. I wouldn't be able to make money because I'm incompetent as a farmer, but I love the idea. Growing weeds mostly, but growing. Yeah, twins would be chaos. Anyway, sort of, you're distracting me with your personal story. Shame on you. Okay. So, I think I want to write for like the writing prompt. I would like to actually write, or at least work on a scene. So, the Cloudish and anyone else watching, if you have a scene in mind for something that you're writing, just pick. Let me see if I can find my paper. Pick a single scene. For me, it's going to be the opening scene, because that's just how I roll, yo. I'm so embarrassed with all this. I have all these printouts, but I don't have a single thing of writing paper. I'm so embarrassed. So I'm gonna steal a page. I'm just gonna steal this page. My opening scene. The whole idea is conflict. So, what does the character want in the scene that you're writing, or the chapter, the section you're writing? So for me, it's the opening scene. Okay. Protagonist, because we got to establish protagonist wants, can't get it because, now I think this is the was it John, no, not John Hammond, the Hammond story circle. I think the first thing is the character wants something. So every scene should be kind of the character wants something. What does the character want? Who's trying to stop him? And that, my lovely people, is conflict. Like, for instance, you want the twins to go to bed. The twins want to stay up and eat sugar and watch, I don't know what 3-year-olds are watching nowadays. Game of Thrones? No, probably not. I can't think. I was like Backyardigans when my kids were that young. So anyway, you want something, they want something. And conflict. So that's what we're going to do. We're each going to create a scene where there's conflict. My protagonist wants, he wants a life free to pursue technology. He wants the fancy gizmos and gadgets. He loves that stuff. He lives in a backwater village. He has a little bit of contact because he's the recycler guy. They send him shiploads of tech that he has to destroy. But he kind of gets his way around that somehow. We'll talk about that later. But can't get it because the world is going agrarian. And backwards. So that's like the overarching story in a sense. So more specifically, so I guess that's the opening part of the scene. That's what I got established. But the first scene itself, he wants something and he's having difficulty getting to it. What would that be? What would that be, my fine feather friends? Man, see, this is why we have the writing stuff. What does this protagonist want? This is from lesson plan number 5 of the NaNoWriMo writing program, in case you guys want to look it up in advance. There are parts of the protagonist's own personality that hinder him, her from getting what they want. Are there things that distract them? Will Will not getting what they want affect their life? Explain to students that if the answer to most of these questions is yes, then that writing prompt has conflict. So, yeah. I got to think specifically about this scene, though. That's the problem. And it's him going to work. So how does going to work have conflict? Is it stupid conflict? Now, what now? The What Now writing program? The NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month in November, where you write a novel in a month. So here, let me write it out for you. Oh, hopefully I didn't end the stream. NaNoWriMo. Boom, there. National Novel Writing Month. They have it in November, but in April and July, there's a camp. Like, it's just basically a mini NaNoWriMo where you just, hey, get some writing done this month. Try to write every day. I fail every time, but I try. I try and I fail. Conflict. Sorry, I'm just, this ain't pop in this thing. Yeah, there's pop in this. I don't think legally I'm allowed to have anything else. Well, water, milk, juice, Gatorade. So, what does he want? He wants to keep tech from being destroyed? No, like that's kind of he wants, he's going to work, he wants to collect scrap to recycle his own uses. Isn't much around anymore. Okay, well that could be a good conflict. Okay, let me set this picture up for you guys before we do the writing prompt. In which case I will write on. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to do 45 minutes today. We might end up just doing 30 because I've been talking too much. I'm sorry, Cloudish. He is heading to work and he collects scrap. So just imagine you head to work at a recycling place, and on the way you dumpster dive to find other things to recycle. Not that there's anything that you want to keep, but you have access to this device that breaks down everything into its core component, like core elements. So you could put an old radio on there and it would just disintegrate it into little cubes of aluminum, plastic, copper, a little bit of gold maybe, like all the elements that are involved, rubber, whatever, glass. So you'd have all these little cubes afterwards. And then you put another device on and it keeps recycling and you just end up with these big bags of cubes. And you can use those in another 3D printer to reassemble. So you can take, like, imagine finding like an iPad. You scan it digitally, so it knows exactly, like, it's almost like Star Trek, the replicator, except it scans an item. So now it knows exactly how it's made up, and you disintegrate it, and you get the core components, you send it off. But you disintegrate other things that no one's keeping a track of. Like, they probably ship you things and they know, okay, we know we shipped you this stuff, we need all that stuff back. So like a record of destroying everything. So then you use the machine after hours to disintegrate anything you can find. So you have a stash of elements for yourself. And then I imagine because he's a smart guy, he's created a 3D printer. So now he takes the file of the item that he scanned and his own raw materials, and he can print iPads and sell them on the black market. I mean, granted, it's not iPads, but anyway, conflict, people. I'm sorry, literary conflict is primarily about the clashing of one person's desires with his or her own faults. So keep that in mind. I'm just going to read this quickly so we can do the writing. The desires of others and the circumstances surrounding them. Why do you think it's helpful for a novel to have an interesting conflict? Well, if they didn't have conflict, it would be a very boring novel. I imagine, like, hey, I've got to destroy this ring by throwing it in the fires of Mount Doom. And then there was nothing in between them, the Shire and Mount Doom. They could just walk. And they had a lovely time, having 11sies and second breakfasts. Lovely time. Oh, here we are. We're at the mountain. Let's toss it in. Be a very short movie and not very interesting. So, yes, without conflict, it would not be very interesting. So, I don't have the creating conflict worksheet because, well, we're all here. Oh, that would suck. Though I imagine they would find a way to shrink it down to just a couple pages, maybe a couple chapters. Instead of 3 massive novels, 3 massive chapters. The last chapter would just be walking through Mordor, where all the orcs are busy doing something else. They're like, oh, they're over on the other side of the world, or they're fighting someone else. Completely clear. Clear line. Sauron's not even paying attention. I have to read those books. It's been a long time. So, conflict. That is what I want you guys to do for our writing sprint. Whatever you're working on, make sure there's conflict in it and write some in. If you don't think there's enough, then shame on you. Shame. Double shame. So I like to go and check these things every once in a while to see if anyone is watching. But sadly, Cloudish, you're my only friend tonight. Maybe another night, there'll be others. And I won't pick on you. But that's okay. So, ready. I'm going to start the countdown clock and begin writing. Or planning, plotting, whatever tickles your fancy. Let me just get out my book, my little... Actually, wait, I have some worksheets. That's what I'm going to work on there. Tell me his name, I want to know. I want that sheet. The way he looks and where you go. And I want that sheet. I need to see his face, I need to understand how you and I came to an end. Tell me again, I want to hear. Okay. Oh. There we go. I'm going to use, just for fun, this lovely thing, Character Arc Worksheet by Nicole L. Ochoa. Can you read my writing there? Ochoa? Because it'll just it's just helping me flesh out. And for all these points down here, trigger, comfort zone, point of no return, struggle, blah, 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 yah. I'm just going to be writing the conflict. Thinking of it in conflict. Ready. Let us begin for 30 minutes, not 45. So subtract 15 minutes off whatever timer it is. Are you ready? Actually, can I change it? Let's see, can I change it? I don't think I can. Poopity poop. Let's go. Character's name. I still haven't picked a name. I'm always bad at names. Bob. It's going to be Bob. It's not going to be Bob, but Bob right now. Steve, the lie. The lie improves our lives, or not our lives. I mean, it does. Technology does improve our lives. Improves us. We are made better with technology. That's just, I think that's the belief. In my head, some people think that humans evolve in the sense that, you know, we are more evolved as a species than the Roman Empire or the Saxons, or like, you know, the further back we go, the more barbaric they are. And I don't think that's true. I think we are exactly the same. We just have different tools, and we dress differently, and we talk differently. So, yeah, I don't think technology can improve and make us better at things. So we still hunt. Technology just makes us better at it. Or farm, it makes us better at it. Or killing, technology can make it better. Bell, I have no idea what that reference is about. Now I'm confused. Thank you very much. Let's see, we need to set up something, the Cloudish, where you can like talk as well. Like we could like link you in. Oh, Bell for a name? Sure. I'll put Bell down for a name. I have no idea whether I'll keep it, but why not? So, flaw. I think this is something the lie. Something is a strength, but maybe doesn't want people to know about. What is their strength that they don't want people to know about them? Easily confused? I'm easily confused, for sure. But I think for me, I don't want to put too much of myself in this character. So I need to think of a strength. I think he's clever. Clever is like intelligence, but on the low-key side. So like, I'm smart, but I don't want you to know that I'm smart. So clever sort of sums up that whole thing. Now, okay, give them a flaw that makes it near impossible to achieve their goal. So this is part of the conflict, stuff that gets in the way. What if can't lie? You're not a good liar. I mean, it's not really a flaw. I think it'd be lovely if everyone was a bad liar. But it does get in their way. Weak physically. So, not confrontational. Another flaw. Well, I mean, it's something that everyone struggles with. Selfishness. I think everyone's kind of selfish, myself included. So he wants to do things for himself. Sure, this would benefit everybody, but does it benefit me very much? No, I don't really care. The origin of the lie. Well, born without an arm and weak muscles. So, just to fill you in as well, he was born with some like physical defects. Like I think his arm, no arm, just a stub, and muscles underdeveloped maybe or very weak. So while he lived in the city as a young child, tech was available. So he had probably a prosthetic, not like a amazing, mind-blowing, but he had a prosthetic, and probably some things to help him move, like a little exoskeleton suit or something. And then they moved out into the boonies because his dad was like, "Screw this! This city took your mother, and you're not taking us as well." But now he doesn't have access to those toys anymore. Well, not toys, tools, really. And he probably, yeah. If everything would be better if we just had technology. Well, because it was true for him, but not, but only physically. Well, I should put this down. The truth is, tool so when they come to the end of the arc, what do you want them to know? He is the same regardless of what the tech that he has. He's the same. So even if he ends up having to hobble around on crutches for the rest of his life, he's still worthwhile and he's still the same guy. And if he gets a cool exoskeleton suit that makes him like a ninja, he's still the same guy. So the antagonist, well, okay, so the trigger, the inciting incident, conflict. Well, his lamp is destroyed. His lamp is destroyed. Device. Looking for device. Loss of his tools. Comfort zone. Well, he doesn't like his comfort zone very much, I don't think. Sorry, just doing a little check here as usual, because that's what I do. Seeing who might have brought themselves into the chat room. The chat room. Okay. Act 1, comfort zone. See, this is like confusing to me because you think someone like that wants to get out. And it's kind of like Luke in Star Wars. He just complains, but I want to get out of here. I could be flying. My friends, are all gone. I'm just stuck on this moisture farm. And then he gets a chance. Hey, why don't you come with me? Obi-Wan offers. And Luke turns him down, says, I can't go. So he's got like a sense of duty, which is good. Because let's face it, he's kind of a douche. Well, not a douche. He's just kind of a whiny kid. So, but I was going to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. I don't know. Well, no, it's where the comfort zone is, it's not where he wants to be. It's where he's comfortable. Like, it's his status quo. Like some guy who never talks to the girl that he wants to ask out. His comfort zone is watching her during lunch. From just the regular stuff that he does, and he's comfortable with it, and that's what he's always done. He needs to change. He needs to get out of his comfort zone, but the comfort zone is where they're used to, even if it's not. Yeah, like Tatooine is Luke's comfort zone. He wants to leave, but he's comfortable. It's comfortable in the sense he knows what's expected of him. I know what my tomorrow will look like. I'll know what the next day is going to look like. And if I leave to help fight the Empire, then that's outside my comfort zone. So he is making printing. Maybe he's making and printing illegal tech to sell and working on deciphering mysterious object. So the object that they torched his lab to get, that he had already dissolved. Yeah. Indeed. So the conflict for there is he's trying to stay with what he knows. You know, he's like a pusher of tech. Sell tech. Stay out of, well, trouble in other ways. Instead of keep a low profile. So he's trying to do that. He's trying to just keep selling his tech, keep a low profile, don't upset anybody, but someone is looking for him. First major plot point. He deciphers the first two. You know, I'm going to have to do some research on this one. Yes. Criminal that dreams of going legit. Comfortable of what he already knows, what he's doing. Doesn't know what stepping out to becoming legit would mean. How would his life change? I don't know. Maybe would my wife leave me? She's the daughter of my boss, of the syndicate leader. I married her, and if I go legit, crap. Would she tell? Would she approve? This is all she's... No, yeah. I think you know exactly what it is. The Cladish, you are a wise man. No, actually. Are you talking about what I'm talking about? Sort of. It's high-tech prototype-ish, but it's not. It's old tech. I can't... Let me see if I can find the item that you can look up here. The Mysterious gears found. I can never pronounce it. Ah, there it is. I am going to just quickly. Boom. You can look that up. The Antikythera mechanism. Basically, they found this clump of shipwreck. Oh, that's okay. Pajama stories are very important. This is less so. Like, he breaks down tech, right? He gets sent an old device, like shipwreck, like crusted over, rusted, barely even recognizable as tech. Just like the Antikythera mechanism, it was so badly rusted that they could hardly. They just saw that this is thousands of years old and there's gears in it, like it's made up of gears. And so after years and years of study and scanning, they were able to like, okay, this gear is this big with this many. And they built the box that it would have come in, and they've replaced all the gears. They created a device, and it basically predicted the moon and the planetary orbits, like even like it was pretty. It's impressive. I can't even fathom, like thousands of years ago, they were able to create something that predicted, oh, we're going to have in this particular time, this particular day, there's going to be lunar eclipse, or this planet's going to be here at this time in 200 years. So it can accurately predict the heavenly bodies. So I was thinking, this is my device. Once again, I'm getting distracted because it's always fun to talk about this and to people. So thank you for listening to Cloudish. Instead of predicting planetary motions, it predicts human behavior. So this device, the gear, has gears or rings that go through, and they all interact with each other. This is the research that I've got to do. One ring is war. One ring is like food. One ring is, this. Basically, they all interact with each other, and they're cycles. So our warlike nature is in a pattern. For some reason, they were able to predict, like, okay, we seem to fight on a fairly consistent level. The level of it might be a world war, it might be a little skirmish between small groups, but we fight on a predictable level. Oh, and food production or disease is another one. It goes like we seem to have every 100 years some sort of outbreak, and so we have all these rings that interact with each other, and it's all connected to, in my mind, a spike that in my mind it lowers, like it's like the doomsday clock type thing, and we're 1 minute to midnight type thing. So if you correctly tune the clock and then run it forward, it will predict civilization in a sense. Okay, we're going to have a war at this time, and the needle's like really far down. That means it's going to be a bad war, whereas this war is going to be up here, and basically the health of our civilization is determined by this. And he finally deciphers this, prints out, 3D prints a model from using the files that he scanned. He wasn't supposed to do that. They didn't know he was scanning these things. They thought he was just destroying. And he recreates it and deciphers it and learns that in just 5 years, it's like doomsday. The pin drops and drops hard. So that is why, like, this world sucks. We're becoming agrarian, and it's because the leaders have learned that they need to reset the clock. They need to force it to reset. Because if they don't, the height of our aggression is going to hit at the same time as the height, like a bump in technology, and it'll just wipe out like the civilization. So if we don't reset the clock, we're all doomed. It's like, yeah, we're due for a terrorist attack at the same time that we're due to miniaturize atomic bombs, like suitcase type. Like when those two things meet up, bad things happen. So the whole idea of him loving technology and then coming to realize that people are trying to get rid of technology in order to prevent a coming apocalypse. And what side is he on? Like, maybe he likes technology more than civilization that it would destroy. Who's he going to choose? Who's he going to help? We know who's going to help. I've got to make it more interesting, though. Deciphers the first rings and starts out why wants it. The rebellion wants to keep tech. They are like, technology's not the problem. You're trying to prevent us from advancing. We could be so close to curing new diseases and rebuilding body parts. You could have a new arm, Bell. See, that's because that's the name you gave him. We could grow you a new arm and surgically attach it in 10 years at the rate technology is going. But they're resetting it so that soon some kid is going to be dying of, a cold or pneumonia in the same time instead. So conflict. He wants to keep it. It could help him personally. But I think he also realizes there's a danger. Polio, yes. The iron lung. That was polio? Yeah, I think so. First half of Act 2. Which was the rebellion. Brings device to them. Continues to decipher it. That's the action, but what's the conflict? City dispatches assassins? I don't know. I should kind of know this. See, this is why conflict, like if I'm just like, ooh, this is kind of cool, this is where there's got to be a force against what your character is doing at any given time. So if he joins the rebellion, what? Dad is kidnapped. Yes, midpoint. What is the midpoint? Well, that's kind of his goal, I guess. Isn't it? Man. It's embarrassing. This is why writing, I stop sometimes. It's because something simple is, what's the midpoint? And what should be the midpoint? What is the conflict? Like, is this where he either fails like a huge setback, reversal, change direction, deepen stakes, see inner flaw. Like, well, he's a setback. So what is his setback? Yeah. No. Well, yeah. Exactly. The midpoint could be a revelation. What he's been moving to achieve is wrong. It could be, yeah, a change in directions, a reversal. So he thinks he wants something, and then he has to, like, oh crap, I've wanted the wrong thing this entire time. I have to back up. So, but I feel like that realization, that the final realization that I'm wanting him to have, is the end of the second act. Like, that's when he realizes, no, this is so deepen the stakes. Deepen the stakes. I mean, he could recommit himself to the rebellion, to keeping. I know I done screwed up, son. Yes. Yes. He done screwed up, son. No. What's with the shirt? It's like, it goes all like that. That's weird. That's weird. Well, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be nice to have your voice. We could, like, have a split screen. I could put you. We could try that, actually. Well, it's not so much the green screen as, well, me not knowing how to put all the right settings. Every time I come to work, I have to tweak things. Plus, this shirt is green. It's slightly green. It's like a darker shade of green than that. So I had to change color stuff because I was just ahead. So I made a foolish clothing choice when I came to work. Maybe he gets implants. Upgrades. So he can see. Yes. Not the same kind of implants. Like, because he was born with various disabilities. So imagine, like, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. Like, he has a whole metallic arm. So this guy, similar, except his stuff only is probably the lower half of his arm. But if he also has muscular issues, then they would, like, implant, nano nerves into his body, cybernetic muscles that attach to his own muscles. So suddenly he goes from being someone who probably needs a walking stick or a cane to walk around to support himself, and he goes slow. And maybe he has, like, I like your phrasing better, nano fiber muscle upgrades, yes. So, and going from probably a very crude prosthetic to something like the Winter Soldier, where it's basically just an arm that works just like his other one, and it's stronger and harder, and maybe even has, like, cool things. Tasers! Taser punch! Maybe that's what I was, in preparation for this, I was watching some various how people write. And there are, like, every single writer, some people plan out meticulously, others don't. Others, like I was surprised that Quentin Tarantino doesn't really plan anything past the midpoint. Like he knows what the ending is going to be, kind of, but he doesn't worry about that part yet because he knows just writing the first half, things are going to change. So he doesn't plan out the whole thing. He plans to the middle, and then he writes to the middle, I guess, and then he plans the second half. So biometal fibers. It sounds like you and I are. Our brains are amazing and think the similar things. I think stuff like that is very interesting. And if you had someone who loved technology and how it allowed them to connect to the world, and then got some like high tech, they stole this from the city. This is the highest level of tech ever produced before we started going downhill, and we're giving it to you, we're implanting it. And suddenly you go from a frail, person to stronger and faster than everyone else. You're going to love it. It's going to make you even more committed. So I think it's like deepen the stakes. He's going to be even more committed. He's like, this is amazing. And maybe turn his back on his family or his dad, who's like, no, this is wrong. Because his dad knows. I think his dad has an inkling. So, anyway. But we are past, like, basically the 15-minute writing stuff is done. So, I'm shutting down the writing sprint because it's just taunting me now. I think I'm going to have to plan out. I want to actually do some writing next week. Like actual, like not plotting or planning, but actual writing a scene. So, pinky's up. So I got to do some writing this week, which is what I will do. And it will be amazing, and everyone will love it, and it will blow people's minds. Are you going to be writing this week? Say you will. Say you will. Wait, no, I'm going it all wrong. Say you will, say you won't. Make up your mind tonight. Say you will. Be mine tonight. You can do it. Chapter 1 would be like, what, 3,666 words? I think that's kind of get a chapter 1 written. I can do that because I've written like 1,000 words in an hour-ish. So if I just wrote an hour a day for a few days, I would have, even if it's crap, it's boom, it's done. So I think that's challenge accepted. 3,666. I think I'm just using NaNoWriMo's little, let me just call up. Oh, they don't have, let me just calculator. If I enter 50,000 words divided by 30 days, it's 1,666 words a day. But that's to write, 50,000. Oh, man, sorry, I'm like 50,000. This is a 50,000 word book. You might be long, but say it has 24 chapters. That is 2,083 words in a chapter. But to me, 50,000 words doesn't seem like a very long book. So maybe aim for 3,000. If you wrote a 3,000 word chapter and you wrote 24 chapters, that's 72,000 words. Yes, read up on NaNoWriMo and the challenge for everyone watching this, which is really just us two now, but there's usually a couple, like a dozen or so that watch this after the fact. Join us live next time, and don't be strangers, is to write a chapter. 3,000 words, people. I don't know why I did this, because this is 6. 3,000, 3, followed by 1, 2, 3. And we'll share We'll have a time of sharing next week. And maybe I will get Discord. I will figure out Discord so that maybe I can send an invite into the chat for people to come to Discord. And then I can link somehow audio or video to this. That could be magical. That would be very magical. So we'll do that. Thank you for coming, The Clowdish. It means a lot to be able to talk about writing with someone, and for someone who's actually been writing and done it. The library has a Discord too, man. It's not just Ben. I'm trying to get people to join the library one. But I've had some attempts and people just spam bad things. Naughty pictures, and I have to ban people. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe Well, I will get you the link right this very moment. That's the wrong thing I opened. Do 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 do. Invite some people. Boom. Do 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 do. I don't. What? Edit. Expires after, let's say, 12 hours. Number of users, 25. Generate new link. Copy. Okay. Are you ready? Let's do this. I'm going to put the link here. Boom. There's the link. Join the Discord. Once you're members, I'll try and track you down, because you can't do much until I upgrade you, just to avoid. So people who just join and follow the link, they can't post. Send me a message. Not so naughty. No selfies in this one. But yeah, I'll figure out how to pump audio from Discord into the stream, because that would be actually super awesome. I think that'd be really fun. And then we could chat. Okay, I'm ending this stream because I'm babbling now. Thank you for coming, The Clowdish. You were a wonderful man. Songs will be sung about you in the future. And statues will be raised. And yeah, I will see you next week. Have fun on your own naughty Discord server. Don't bring that stuff, because I'll shut you down. I will shut you down. Okay, anyway, I'm babbling. Thank you. See you guys next week. Write one chapter, 3,000 words, whatever that works out to be. See you then.